Hey everybody, it's Jake Mesa, the vegan athlete, back here with my friend Doug Jones at your house.
Right.
With the Arizona Rare Fruit Growers.
Talking about fruit trees.
Yes, and you have got a bare root fruit tree right here.
Hey.
What does that mean?
Bare root means that they pulled it out of the ground during the time of the year when it didn't have any leaves on it.
Okay.
Okay. And shipped it bare root, so it's not in a pot. And they take it and give it to you just like they pulled it out of the ground. So it's a big tall tree.
Okay.
You go down to the nursery and buy it, and everybody thinks, well, I just go home and stick it in the ground. If you do that without preparing the tree itself a little bit, the chance of the tree surviving is not good.
And you have some tricks to supercharge it when you plant it.
Make sure it's going to grow.
Okay.
Realize when they took it out of the ground, they pulled off many of the little tiny feeder roots.
Right.
That really gives the tree its nutrients.
Oh, that pop,
It's
pop,
got
pop.
some of the nice big roots, the root structure, but it doesn't have the little tiny feeder roots.
Right.
Okay? A lot of those have been gone.
Right.
So we're going to have to balance the amount of roots with the amount of top
top growth.
Okay, top growth. A little bit of background on why you do it.
Yeah.
My learning and doing it.
How come you do this?
Okay, I learned this the hard way. Okay, with a friend of mine, actually a cousin of mine. We both bought peach trees, and it was bigger than this. They were about 10 to 12 feet tall, a little bit bigger caliper. I had read that you need to cut it way back, so I took it home and I cut it back to about 3 feet tall.
Above the graft?
Above the grass. So I cut it somewhere right in here.
Okay.
Okay. He said, oh, I don't want to lose all that growth, so he left his, he cut it back a little bit, but instead of 10 or 12 feet tall, he cut it back to about 7 or 8 feet tall. So he cut off a little bit.
So yours is 3 foot, his is 8 feet.
Okay. So the difference is, we planted in the ground, that was probably January or so. Come May, June or whatever, mine's putting out some nice growth. I've got 3 or 4 inches of growth looking really good. Think, okay, that's doing great. I went and saw his in August. In August, his barely had any leaves at all growing. A few here and there, but you could tell it was really struggling. Mine in August already had about 2 feet of growth. I went and looked at his again the end of October. His was dead. Okay. Mine had 3 feet of growth.
This is a terrible story.
Awful story. Well, he didn't want to take the chance of losing all the growth, cutting it back. The other reason that we want to cut it back is you want the fruit to start, the fruit branches to start fruiting out down low.
Right. So it's pickable.
You know what? So it's pickable. You know what we call the fruit that's up high, don't you?
What's that?
That's bird food.
Bird food. It's out of your reach.
Can't reach it. The birds are going to get it anyway.
So if I understand this, you're trying to give the tree an appropriate proportion of root system to top growth.
And start branching framework out at a low level.
So that the humans can pick it, not the birds.
So we can pick it and keep it low.
Right.
So here's an example behind you.
Yeah. What kind of tree is this?
This is a Flavorella plumcot.
Okay.
That I planted about 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Okay. Still have the tag on it?
Flavorella plumquat.
I remember it.
Right there, yeah, exactly.
Okay, you notice I cut it off about 2 feet off the ground.
Right.
So I took and cut that right there.
Okay.
It started branching low, so all the branches are down low, so I can pick the fruit down low. Okay. I kind of wanted this was in a shade, so I left some of the branches go up high to shade my shed.
Yeah.
But I technically should have cut everything down low and keep it low and let nothing get above 6 feet tall.
Right.
So every time I would trim it, if you'd cut it to a branch that's facing downward, it trains it to go downward. And you can actually get branches standing 20 or 30 feet away from the trunk that are still only 6 feet high. You don't have to pick a ladder to get the fruit, and you don't worry about the bird food.
So now, I mean, the majority of these flowers will become fruits, and the majority of them are in pickable range.
Right here where I can pick them.
They're all over, and they're just loaded with bees. I mean, like,
Bees all over the place right in there.
There's 10,000 bees on this tree right now. It's amazing.
Bees all over the place.
So that's a great tip. Keep the tree small. Give it a proportional top growth to root size.
Correct.
Don't think you're doing something good by letting it be big. Cut it to 3 feet above the graft
to get it started.
And
so in this particular case, I'm looking at this tree.
This is a peach.
Okay, this is a peach tree. This is a desert gold peach. This is one of the very common peaches, a wonderful peach.
Okay,
sure. So this would be probably where I would want to start. I've got a couple of buds right there that are starting to leaf out. Even if I cut it down lower, there's latent buds somewhere in the bottom still come out, but I'm going to take it off right here.
I know beginner gardeners are watching going,
no, oh, no,
don't do it.
Okay. Okay, so I cut that off. Yeah, I've lost that much growth. That would be a minimum. But if I really want to do better, I'd even go down lower. The long run, it's going to be better off for the tree.
Exactly.
Because the tree has enough nutrients from those roots to go out and make it grow.
And if you're planting a tree at home, you're probably in it for the long run anyways.
Correct.
So do something good.
Okay.
Great tip. How can folks find out more about the Arizona Rare Fruit Growers and your plant sale?
Go on our main website, the crfg.org, the California Rare Fruit Growers.org.
Okay.
Our own particular plant sale is azrfgtreesale.org.
Cool.
Took a lot of great trees, the plum cots and pluaries and so forth, still for sale on there, and look through the different varieties, pay for it online, and come by and pick them up.
And gardeners who are interested in growing food at home can join the Arizona Rare Fruit Growers and come to your monthly meetings.
Monthly meetings we have to talk about growing all the different trees and have grafting sessions and air layering and how to do some of these different things that are really exciting.
And again, we can't do a full tour of your house here because how many fruit trees do you have on this property?
I have over 800.
800. And how much land?
This is 1 1/3 acres.
In
Mesa.
Mesa.
Southern and Gilbert. And
Amazing.
Mesa. So
Well,
put them real close together so I get all the different varieties.
do you also belong to Treeaholic Anonymous?
Almost. I have to sneak trees in the backyard so the
For your wife?
doesn't know that I'm planting more trees.
Oh my God.
Don't tell her that.
Great tip. Thank you so much for the info, and thanks for being on camera with us.
And it's been fun.
And I'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.